Hey guys, it's Spaces Sims, and we are back with more 9-rip continuing Koharu's route. The bird bit me. You nipped at my chin, that's not very nice. You're very mean. You're a very nasty bird. Do you hear him? Do you hear him talking back to me? Everybody knows that you sass back. You sassing me back, and you don't appreciate that. You're so cute. You're so cute, but you're so mean. Anyway, so yeah, back to this. Why in the world of okay? So, right, we were sick with a headache. It's been a couple days. Anyway, Spacey, Yukimaru said you had a high fever and you fainted. Toka barged in suddenly, and Koharu leapt up from his spot on the bed. Right, he was cuddling us in bed. That was sweet. I forgot about that. Don't just barge in like that. I also quickly got up, but Toka's eyes grew wide as he saw the two of us together. Yeah, we were busy. Not really. What? Huh? What? Oh, wait. Huh? What? It was wait. I read that wrong. This is... It's not what it looks like. She was cold. I was only trying to warm her up. Frantically, the two of us scrambled for words, each shouting over the other. Toka seemed to understand and sighed. Hey, we were dressed at least. Phew, that's a relief. Yukimaru made it sound serious. I was really worried there for a moment. But you look much better than I expected. Your color seems to have come back nicely. Hearing that, I paused. Oh, now that he mentioned it, I feel totally fine now. I wonder why. Because when Koharu's away from us, we feel sad and lonely and dizzy and nauseous. I was shivering just moments ago, and now I felt totally fine. Koharu touched my cheek, his face filled with relief. Looks like your fever's gone too. How about your chills? Actually, I feel much better. I wonder what's happening. Maybe Koharu's hot body did the trick. Koharu's body heat. His hot body did the trick. You don't have to cover that up unless you're like, maybe it's hot body did the trick. I mean, your body heat. Not unless you say it all sultry, I expected Koharu to blush or get embarrassed, but instead he just frowned. He knows it's his fault. Why? It has something to do with him. You know what I mean? He knows what's going on. He knows something. I totally confessed my feelings for him. I completely forgot. I panicked and his face was filled with consternation. Koharu, about what I said. Toka, could you watch her for a little while? I need to check something and have to step out for a bit. What? Why, yes, of course. I'll keep her safe. Is he really that desperate to avoid me? I looked at the floor in despair when I suddenly felt his warm hand patting my head. I looked up to see Koharu smiling at me like he usually did. I might be a while, but I promise to come back. I think I know what's going on with you. Ah, I see. I was about to apologize, but instead... Okay, I'll be waiting. Thank you. I thought he'd prefer to hear that, so I smiled and thanked him. Koharu nodded and returned my smile. Take care. Will do. See you later. With that, he left, promising to return. I held on to that promise and did my best to send him off with a warm smile. The next night, both Koharu and Yukimaru were still gone, trying to find out what was wrong with me. For my part, all I could really do was focus on my future career path. Alright, I think these turned out pretty good. I stared down at the cookies I had just made, smiling to myself. I used the leftover ingredients Koharu gave me to make this. I wonder how they taste. Wow, that smells amazing! You're not Yukimaru, though, so, maybe you'll, judge my cookies, but, we'd know if they were good if Yukimaru ate them. Hi, Toka. I tried baking some cookies. Hey, would you mind trying them and telling me what you think? Koharu said he'd teach me, but I didn't want to just wait and sit around doing nothing, so I wanted to surprise him when he got back. Absolutely, I'd love to. It would be my honor. What a great way to commemorate our parting. Our parting? Yum! This is so delicious. By the way, have you talked to your mom about the part-time job? Yeah, I spoke with her this morning. She's supportive and gave her blessing. Now I just need to visit the cafe and ask about it. That's wonderful. Nice to see you take an active role in your future. Take such an active role, sorry. It's all thanks to you. You were the one who suggested I take a part-time job. See, like, for some reason right here, it's got to be the old man eyebrows. Because, like, right here, like, he normally has such a baby face, but, like, right here, he doesn't have... He's got puppy eyes, but he doesn't have as much of a baby face. It's kind of weirding me out a little, and I don't mean that in a bad way. It's like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't like the baby face love interest. It's just not my thing. I'm always like, they could be great, but, like, your baby face is throwing me off. I don't care if you're centuries old. But, like, something about Toka is like old man in a slightly baby face. Like, he's confusing me. I'm very like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I guess part of it too is me being like, I'm just really impressed with like the artists who do these games because like you have your love interests who are in their 20s, sometimes even in their 30s, and they all look the damn same. But then you can sometimes like, okay, like, look at Hibiki. He kind of looked like a teenage boy. He didn't really have baby face, but he definitely had a younger looking face than some of our other love interests that are supposed to be older than him. Right? But he didn't have baby face. It was like, yeah, no, he just looks a little younger. Okay, fine. But he looked age appropriate. You know what I mean? Like, you look like a teenager, whereas most of the time teenagers look like all the rest of our love interests, where you're like, you're a teenager, you look 25, but okay, sure, whatever. Because seriously, most anime art styles, you're like 15, 25, maybe 30. Okay. As soon as you get like 35 to 40, it's like dead. Bags under your eyes looking like a haggard old man. Oh, thanks. You know? But when they do, then you'd have Manami characters where you're like, we're going to draw them where they have the face of a 12-year-old. Look at this little infant face. Right? Toka's one of those characters. He's supposed to be a baby face. But, like, then you look at a sprite right now and you're like, there is something... It's like if you're watching an anime or a movie, you know, they do... Or, like, seriously, like, the super old 80s fucking things, the pictures you've seen where it's like, here's the photo of the person sitting on a chair, and then they have, like, the three silhouettes kind of them, like, face shots off on the right, and it's like looking off to the left, looking off to the right, and it's kind of faded in. You know what I mean? Like almost superimposed over the other photo. You know what I'm talking about if you've ever seen one. You've probably seen one. Okay? They were like a thing for a while. Like, it's just fucking bonkers. But when you see them, you're like, what in the actual fuck? But people did those. People fucking... I'm pretty sure my cousin has one of those. I'm pretty sure my aunt and uncle had them for my cousins. Like, I didn't... Okay. But anyway... But, you know, like the superimposing thing where it's like, okay, here's babyface Toka and here's older Toka. And it's almost like you're fading from one scene to the next. But it's like that. It's like without having that superimposed feeling. But that's also the feeling. That am I making any sense? I don't think I'm making any sense. But it's like you look at him and you're like, I can see the babyface, but also old man. And I don't mean like you're old, but I mean like you look like a normal adult character, but also with a baby face. And it's like you can see both. You know those photos where it's like, is it a rabbit or a duck? And you're like, it's a duck. Oh, no, I see both. You can see both. You know, or the one, is it an hourglass or is it two people about to kiss? And you're like, it's fucking both. You can see both. You know? Like, where you can clearly see both of the pic. That's what it is. It's like, is he super baby-faced or does he have a normal face? And you're like, both. I can see both right now. And it's really fucking bizarre. But, like, I think that's what is confusing me. I'm like, I like it, though. Like, good for you. Because there's an innocence and almost babyface, but he's not as babyface as the babyface characters. So that's what's throwing me off. But I prefer it when we have his sprite like this, because sometimes when he's just further back and he has the baby face is more prominent, when he's closer up, it's like, maybe it's the eyebrows. I don't know. Maybe it's those little bushy 80-year-old man eyebrows that need to be groomed a little, even though they look perfectly groomed, to be fair. And like... Hi, I have thicker eyebrows too. Okay, there's nothing wrong with thick eyebrows, but there's just something about it on his baby face that just is like, look at your little old man eyebrows. You know? And like, that's just... But do you see it? Like, am I crazy? I don't know. Listen, I don't think Yukimaru's route has started going up yet, to be fair. It might have already at this point, because it's the beginning of 2025. So, like, it might have already started going up, or it's the beginning. So my postulations on Toka from that have not hit you guys yet, where anybody can be like. So that's why I keep asking too, because I'm like, wait, like, I know that this came up in Yukimaru's route, the same thought process, but it's been like a year for me, okay? It's been weeks, and it's still baffling me. Anyway, I was now pretty seriously considering becoming a pastry chef, and Toka had suggested that I try working at my favorite cafe. Like, when he's further away in the scenes, he's like, baby face, and then when he stands closer, you're like, the closer you get to me, the older you look, and it's very weird, and I feel slightly uncomfortable with it, because it doesn't bother me. You're like, your baby face should bother me, but it doesn't, and that's weird. Anyway. Hey, that reminds me. How would you feel about a job here? A part-time, I mean. It would sure be a big help. You already know the store and menu really well. Who would have thought Toka was there that day, listening to that conversation? Raise your hands if you absolutely would have expected Toka to be... We're all raising our hands, right? Yeah. Who would have thought he's been stalking you since you were born? So, like, yeah. No, that's not a shock. So much time had passed since then. I didn't know if the offer still stood, but if the owner said yes, I'd be so excited. If I could be of help to you, Spacey, nothing would bring me greater joy. Thank you so much. I'm so grateful to you. Not just for helping me find my path, but for watching over me, too. Toka seemed overwhelmed by emotion, and his eyes started to fill with tears. Okay, now he's got the baby face thing going on because he's going to cry. It's kind of adorable, though. I wasn't going to tell you this, but by tomorrow the priest's exorcism effects will fade, and you won't be able to see me anymore. No, don't make me cry. Look at his sad eyes. You play that one game where, like, the love interest cries a lot, and you're like, I like it when you cry. And now, like, every time they cry, you're like, oh, it's adorable. I like it when you cry. Like, part of me thinks it's adorable and I just want to pat you on the head and comfort you, but another part of me is like, cry a little bit more. Like, these games have fucked me up in so many goddamn ways, and you know what? I'm not sure if I should be proud or mad about it. I'm definitely not mad about it. Should I be mad about it? Because I'm not, but, like the whole brother thing. Like, you're like, no, it doesn't bother me. So many people, oh my god, is there any kind of, like, I don't like it when it's cousins. And that was me. That was me at one point. All it takes is that one love interest that they won't let you have because he's your brother, and you're like, nope. All right. Checkmate, let's do this. And then they just, we all know who it is. I'm not going to spoil that for anybody else who might not have watched that playthrough. Trying to get better and not spoiling other games for you guys, but god damn it. I still love him so much. What? Tomorrow? That soon? Toka nodded, his eyes still watery, but he smiled. Aww. Look, see, he's got adorable old man, baby face, teary eye. Very confused. Which is okay, because we have to, like, date him next, so. I'll keep watching over you. Don't worry about that. You may not be able to see me, but I'll be here. I couldn't stop it. It was already decided. My vision began to blur. No, I want to keep smiling. Each moment, my eyes are filled with tears as a moment I can't see Toka. No matter how hard I tried to keep my feelings inside, my tears began falling from my eyes. Although I will say, like, I get her emotion here, because, like, we've spent a lot of time with all three of them between the two routes. But, like, okay. I mean, I guess if you think about the common route, we spent a lot of time with all three of them. But, like, so far since we've hit Koharu's route, Toka's barely been here! He hasn't been here for weeks. Granted, it's probably been like 2 days that we haven't seen him, so fair enough. But it just seems like he hasn't been around for a while. But that's also because we skipped the common route when restarting this one, so. No matter how hard I tried to keep my feelings inside, tears began falling from my eyes. Toka brushed away my tears with his fingertips, and without thinking, I took his hand. This isn't goodbye, right? Of course not. Things will just go back to how they were before. Except now you'll know I'll be by your side. And that makes me very happy. We'll continue to be together, I promise, he said, smiling, and I finally managed to smile back. I read that awkwardly. That means I won't be able to see Yukimaro anymore either. That's a real bummer, because Toka will follow us around, but, like, we won't be able to see our Labradoodle? But he said he would part when his role of guardian spirit was complete. What about Yukimaro? I assume he's casting a spell similar to Koharu's, so you'll still be able to see him. The look on Toka's face, though, right now is like, he's like, yeah, that fuck. Yeah, whatever, you'll still be able to see that asshole. The look on his face. I feel like every time we talk about Yukimaro and we're talking to Koharu, or now Toka, they always have this look that's like, oh, yeah, him. Then I'll have to say goodbye to him when his role as my guardian spirit is done. They were leaving one by one, and my life would return to the way it was. I'm not sure what I was thinking, like, well, okay, so you have to say goodbye to Toka, and you still have two, and then you say goodbye to Yukimaro, and then you have Koharu, and then you say goodbye to him, like, but is that worse than, like, everybody leaving all at once? You know what I mean? Because, like, if all of a sudden everybody vanished at one, you get to say goodbye to all of them and they're all gone, all that pain at one time, as opposed to, well, I have to be happy that Yukimaro and Koharu are still here while I want to be sad that Toka's gone, but I still have the two of them and I need to focus on the fact that I'm still happy they're here and make all the best memories with the two of them. And you know what I mean? So you don't really get the time to, like, in a way, grieve Toka. They're all, like, by the time they all leave, then it's like all that grief is compounded instead of, like, them all leaving at once. You know what I mean? Like, I guess theoretically it's the same amount, but is it really? Because I don't know. Like, Like, yeah, Toka leaving and then Yukimaro and Koharu still being here, you're focusing on happy memories with the two of them, so you don't have time to focus on being sad that Toka's gone. And then when they're all gone, then you focus on them, or like they're all gone and then you're sad. Just all at once for all of them, as opposed to like trying to balance all those emotions. Interesting. Interesting thought experiments. Have fun figuring out which one would be worse for you and which path you would prefer. Do they all leave at once or one by one? I don't know. Anyway. Oh my god, my guide is being a pain in the ass. I'm sad, but I want to smile to the very end. I braced myself for our inevitable parting. And that night, I stayed up later so I could spend just a little more time chatting with Toka. That's sweet. Ooh, chapter 7. Do we have 9 chapters? I'm going to cheat and scroll up. Oh, we only have 8. Okay. We got a lot of choices coming up in this one. I scrolled up fast enough to see the chapters. I didn't look at what the text was for the choices. But I could see that there's 2 choices, 2 pink things. Because Otome Kitten color codes it. So, like, the chapter route things are, like, in a greenish color for his. The text choices are black. And then the save points are, like, pink. So you could just see the colors and just don't look at the words. Anyway, 2 days had passed since Koharu left. He's like, I'll be back. When? Both he and Yukimaro were still out looking for a solution to my illness, but that means Toka's gone now and you're all alone. While they were gone, Toka had been by my side watching over me, but ever since this morning I hadn't been able to see him. Aww. Regardless, I was sure he was still near. Knowing that made me feel a bit stronger. In terms of my health, I hadn't felt much different, and I had been living normally. And then, when I was in class, I wonder if it was all right for me to confess my feelings like I did. Even as I took notes in class, my heart was elsewhere. All I could think about was when I confessed my feelings to Koharu as he hugged me. What's important is that I told him how I feel. Actually, I feel a bit relieved. I never really expected an answer from him, so selfish as it might seem, I felt really good being able to tell him my feelings. Though I was curious about his feelings in return, no matter what, our future wouldn't change. We were doomed to part. Actually, I don't think I want to know how Koharu feels. I remembered how much I worried I was a burden to him. I don't want to feel that way again. These thoughts kept circling in my mind, meaning I didn't hear a word the teacher said. I looked up and down from my notes to the blackboard, and then suddenly, huh. Out of the corner of my eye, I thought I saw a shadow at the window of the classroom door. I squinted, looking carefully, and I saw Koharu standing in the hallway. I was so surprised that I fell out of my chair. Instantly, there was a commotion in my class, and all the students turned to look at me, of course. Are you all right? Sayaka, sitting nearby, rushed over, and I nodded lightly to her. This is too embarrassing. My face turned bright red as I stood up next to my chair. That was Koharu just now, right? What's he doing here? Curiosity got the better of me, and I couldn't help but call out to the teacher. I'm sorry, I think I just hurt myself falling. Would it be all right if I went to the nurse's office? The teacher should have been like, oh my god, are you okay? Not be like, I'm going to continue lecturing because, students fall out of chairs often. Sure, go right ahead. Thank you. I left the classroom, and just as I suspected, I found Koharu standing there looking at me. He's like, yeah, you fell out of your chair. You were excited to see me. Look at him. Having not seen him for so long, my heart leapt with excitement. Koharu! Trying to calm down, I whispered to him quietly. Koharu looked amused. Yeah, you know why? Because he's like, you fell out of your chair. You were so excited to see me. I wanted to see you too, girl. I didn't fall out of no chair. You seriously ate it pretty bad back there. Huh, it's all your fault, Koharu. I was surprised to see you. My bad, then. I just wanted to check in on you. You were worried about me? After what happened? Of course I was worried. He might have a point there. Well, thank you, but so far I've been alright. Uh-huh. Seems like it. All except for that fall back there, right? It seemed my fall was quite entertaining for him, and he laughed mischievously. I forgot how annoying he can be. You're just mad because he's laughing at you because you did a stupid. Which is adorable. Anyway, did you find anything out about my condition? About that. It seems like it might take a bit longer. No luck on Yukimaro's end either, I'm afraid. I see. Sorry for all the trouble. Thank you both for all your help. It's no trouble. I'm doing this because I want to. Hearing him say it like that makes me so happy. I have to ask, just before your condition appeared, what were you thinking about? What was I thinking about? You can't tell him about how you were thinking, how much you want him to pin you against a wall and do inappropriate things to you, because that's... You're like, sir? My dirty, dirty inner thoughts are none of your business! The first time, I think Yukimaro was talking about our farewell, and I thought about Koharu. The next time, Koharu and I were discussing about when we'd have to part ways, and when I fainted at school, I was talking about Koharu with Sayaka. Each time I was thinking about Koharu. This is strange to say, but I was thinking about you, Koharu. Koharu didn't blush this time. Instead, his expression turned serious. That's what I thought. What do you mean by that? You think it's related to my condition? I'm still gathering information, but I'll let you know more as soon as I'm sure. I know you're anxious, but bear with me. As he spoke, he gently patted my head, and I felt myself calm down. I'll be fine. In that case, I'm going to head out. Oh, once school's out, Yukimaro will be waiting for you at the gate. Oh, I can still see Yukimaro? Last night was the last time I was able to see Toka. Oh, I figured as much. I couldn't sense the priest's power on you anymore. I think Yukimaro cast a spell like mine, so you won't lose sight of him right away. Plus, Toka was with you until just a few moments ago. Oh, really? When I can't see him, I guess I can't feel his presence either. It'd be nicer to feel his presence, so you're like, I'm about to take a shower, you better not be in here, you pervert. That made me sad, but I was also happy to know that he was with me earlier. So, will you be gone for a while again this time? Huh. You look like an abandoned little puppy. Yeah. And then imagine the Labradoodle. It's like we're all like little animals. Sorry. That's right. I want to do my best to smile. I tried to brighten up and smiled. I'll be waiting for you. Yeah, I should be back soon, so just hang in there for a little while longer. Got it. Oh, I'll walk you to the school entrance. I'm heading to see the nurse anyway. Having finally got the chance to see him, I wanted to spend as much time as possible together. Even if I said no, I have a feeling you just follow me anyway. Come on, let's go. We started walking, and I was about to head down the central stairs. Suddenly, Koharu grabbed my wrist. Let's use the other stairs. They're closer to the entrance. Oh, right, good point. Koharu was right. The north side stairs were closer than the central stairs, but he doesn't want to go past the mirror. Something feels off. All he did was suggest a different flight of stairs, and yet it stood out to me. Koharu almost seemed nervous? That's what I remembered. When we came here on the weekend, on the way to the library, Koharu stopped and looked up at the central stairs. Oh, sorry. Are you all right? Yeah, it's nothing. Something about him seemed off then, too. Could there be something at the stairs? Seeing as Koharu was a spirit, it made sense that he'd be able to see ghosts. Koharu, is there something you're not telling me about the central stairs? Yeah, there's just another one of those dudes that keeps bugging me. I softly asked, turning towards him, and Koharu slowed down slightly. Man, you're blunt. You don't have to say it like that. We're just asking a simple question, man. I didn't mean it in a bad way. I'm just surprised at how perceptive you are. Well, it has to do with someone I care about. I muttered the words in my mind. Koharu looked away and placed his hand on the wall of the staircase landing. You know how there's a mirror up there? On the staircase, I mean. Oh, right, the full-length mirror. On the landing, between the first and second floor, there was a large full-length mirror. I've been keeping an eye on the kid in there. There's a kid in the mirror? He's not that scary. He's just a ghost. A ghost sounds pretty scary to me. He's an old friend of mine. Koharu stroked the wall with his hand. His eyes waxed nostalgically as he gazed into the distance. What kind of person was he? Curious about the kind of friends Koharu had, I asked, and he laughed. Well, that's a pretty long story. It's fine. I got time before class ends. Oh, so now you're just totally skipping class? Well, no, but I can't help but be curious. I wanted to know everything about Koharu. I guess it can't be helped, huh? Koharu relented and began to open up to me. Okay, because, we haven't gotten any of his little backstory stories, you know what I mean? So, any bits of his backstory, we usually have okay, let me tell you about myself. I don't think we've gotten any of those, so. Exactly, like this. This is exactly what I was thinking. We didn't have any of these. And the story goes back a few decades. I was still living as the spirit board back then. Each time someone summoned me to ask questions, I'd respond, and so on and so forth. Eventually, I got tired of the repetitiveness of it all. During that time, there was one kid in particular who kept summoning me. He'd always perform the spirit board ritual in the classroom after school, once everyone else had left. Spirit board, please tell me. Spirit board, will the weather tomorrow be sunny? Spirit board, what will Mom make for dinner today? Day in, day out, without fail, he'd summon me after school to ask me these trivial questions. But as it was my role, I dutifully answered his silly questions each day. Initially, he was frightened, but eventually he began to smile. Spirit board, I can't make any friends. What should I do? For a moment, I hesitated. I was unable to provide him an answer. As I saw his shoulders sink, a wave of irritation surged within me. How would I know? That's your problem, kid! Such thoughts crossed my mind, but I found myself observing him more often. He was always alone at school, something he concealed from his parents. Every day he put on a forced smile. I surmised he sought to alleviate his loneliness by communicating with me daily. That was when the incident occurred. That day, as usual, the kid was at school, summoning me. It was an ordinary day, but just as he was about to ask his question, his classmates barged into the room and interrupted the ritual. Whoa, what are you doing? Look at him, he's doing something dumb with paper. He's doing something dumb with paper. I bet he's trying to, write words. What kind of a moron is that kid? He's doing something dumb with paper. Maybe he's writing a poem. Maybe he's doodling. Maybe he's doing his homework. That is just the most random douchey comment ever. Those stupid brats started mocking him, snatching the spirit board paper away from him. That really pissed me off. But please, give it back. Please. He clutched the coin tightly, trying not to let go, but the coin had already left the spirit board paper. Oh, now you gotta haunt him? Koharu paused, then looked towards me. You probably know what I did next, right? Though the boy held onto the coin, based on what Koharu implied, I guessed what happened next. Sorry. He broke the ritual? Koharu nodded. You forgot to hook up the doll. You ever seen Weird Science? What did we do wrong? You forgot. We forgot to hook up the doll. You forgot to hook up the doll. I haven't seen that movie in 100 fucking years, but now I'm gonna guarantee you it does not hold up. I'm gonna guarantee you, because it's a movie from the 80s. I'm gonna guarantee you you'd watch that now and be like, what the shit? But at the same time, kind of like Mannequin, where you're like, it probably does not hold up in the modern society, but at the same time, god damn, I used to love that movie. I had to haunt him. I never thought about it before, but wouldn't haunting him have the opposite effect? I mean, you said that spirit boards need to be used or else they'll be forgotten, and then they disappear, right? If you did something scary like haunt someone, people would get scared of using them and they might stop altogether. Still, I had to haunt him, so he'd never fail another ritual. It was for his own good. Wait, what do you mean for his own good? If we don't haunt someone and just leave them be, bad things happen. They could even die. What? That's why we have to haunt people. To make them scared so they never mess up the ritual again. It's kind of warning, you could say. I had no idea. But why would messing up the ritual lead to death? I mean, Hibiki messed up a ritual and he kind of did end up dead. I don't know if that's tied together necessarily, because, Why do people have to die because of this? The paper and coin you use for the ritual are designed so the spirit board's powers can reside in them. So if the coin goes beyond the paper's edge, or if you release the coin, the powers begin to leak. And when that happens, the spirits attracted to the spirit board's power are drawn to you. Come to think of it, when Koharu appeared before me, purple smoke emerged from the archway I had drawn. Was that his spirit power? If the spirit is benign, it's not a big deal. But if it's a malevolent type, in the worst case, people can be killed. To be killed by a spirit? Well, I don't know, Purple Myth. That could have been Minami being like, sweet! I'm just saying. That's why we only appear to those who mess up the ritual. To haunt them and to protect them from other spirits. Oh. Then the boy you mentioned... He ended up going through something truly horrific. Koharu sighed before continuing his story. Although irritated by the kids who interrupted the ritual, I appeared before him. Tch! Didn't expect this to happen. We were really unlucky at the time. The boy had attracted the attention of a spirit that loved to consume humans. Who's saying, hey, the door won't open? Oh, are these the other kids? Why is it so cold? It's summer. I can see my breath. The three kids, including those brats, were trapped inside the classroom. Yeah, despite the windows and doors being sealed, a chill wind swept through the room. There sure are some these sure are some tasty-looking children here. Let me try a little sample. The boy turned pale as he stared at me. Then the spirit targeted that boy. I saw the spirit's long, sharp claws raised upward, ready to swing down on the boy. I quickly pushed him behind me. Is that how you got the scar? But... the spirit's claw pierced through my right eye, because he's got the bruise on his eye, and you were like, how did that happen? You know, so now we know. Damn it! Stay away from him! Ignoring the pain, I grabbed the spirit's claw, broke it off, seized its horn, and flung him. Like, hot. You're doing all this for Hibiki? Like, I bet he appreciated it. You know, he's a sweet kid, but just talking about it is still traumatic. The spirit fled. The spell on the room lifted, and those little brats ran out of the classroom. The boy and I were left there alone. I picked up the ritual paper those brats left behind and handed it to the kid, then sat on the floor. What a goddamn mess. The boy just stared at me, his eyes wide with fear. Fortunately, I was the only one he could see, so he didn't see what happened with the other spirit. Still, the kid was smart. He seemed to know I had fought with something invisible. I mean... you're a... eye. This? Don't worry about it. Just a scratch. It's just a scratch, but your eye is permanently closed. You should have an eye patch, sir. But you protected me, right? I heard you yelling at someone to not touch me. Oh, I heard you yelling at someone not to touch me. Sorry, I read that wrong. The kid was on the verge of tears, but he took out a handkerchief from his pocket and offered it to me. No need. It'll heal on its own, but thanks. He pulled his handkerchief away, clutching it tightly. He then asked me a question. Are you the spirit board? Yeah, that's right. You failed the ritual, so I'm here to haunt you. I said these words, but at the same time, I knew what happened wasn't his fault. Those snotty kids from before were to blame. Given the situation, do I really need to haunt him? As I thought those things, the boy began to cry. I'm sorry. It's all my fault. Because I messed up, that scary thing came and... Huh? Well... And because of that, I let my friend get hurt. Huh? Friend? You always come and listen to me. Because I had you, Mr. Spirit Board, I was able to keep coming to school. I felt lonely, but I was able to come to school because I wanted to see my friend. You know the paper, because he keeps the paper, I think, at his desk. I think he said that. But, like, you could take that home. It's not like it's school property. It's a piece of paper and a coin. But because of me, it's like Hibiki ain't the smartest crayon in the shed. Oh, I'm sorry. We love Hibiki. He's sweet. A little crazy, but still sweet. Seeing him so distraught over someone like me, I felt happy. Give me that handkerchief. I took the handkerchief from him and wiped away his tears. And listen to me. If you want to protect those you care about, then you gotta become strong. You can do it, and I'll be there to back you up, okay? You got it? But Those kids ran away immediately, right? And look at you. You're here talking to a spirit. For a mortal, I'd say that makes you pretty brave. Now listen. From now on, I only want you calling me if you're really in trouble, okay? Other than that, you gotta figure things out yourself. Get strong and know that I'll be looking out for you. The boy nodded, and though he was still crying, his expression softened into a full smile. Okay, I'll become stronger. That's the spirit. Oh, and seeing as we're friends now, guess I gotta know your name. Hibiki? Oh my god, guys, it was Hibiki! I mean, we fucking knew. Come on. We have to pretend. I'm Koharu. Now we're friends. So I won't haunt you, okay? Thank you, Koharu. And since that day, Hibiki never called on me again. Koharu finished his story, touching the scar in his face. He's never, I mean, but then obviously Koharu knows that Hibiki died, and whatever. But, like, he never, even when he's in his thing, he's never called on him once. I don't remember that coming up. I mean, I know Hibiki said, like, he used to call on the spirit board. He was my friend, blah, blah, blah. He never told us anything else because you're not going to tell us anything about Koharu until we get to his route. So fair enough. But, like, it's weird because, I mean, I guess they never said the only time Hibiki talked about the spirit board was in the past tense. It was like, oh yeah, I used to talk to him all the time. So he never really said, I don't do that anymore, or I still do. Like, they never, I don't think, said either way. Because I mean, he gave us all the stuff to, like, yeah, here's my stuff that I used to call, and you should, when we had to call Koharu to, you know, do something in that round. I can't remember what it was that we called him for, but whatever. Koharu finished his story. Okay, I read that already. I still regret that day. I frowned, puzzled by his words after hearing him tell the story. I shouldn't have told him he had to figure things out on his own. To be strong. Why? Koharu paused before slowly beginning to explain. Oh. He's like, I told him to rely on himself, and then he ended up dead, and, yeah. He killed himself. He was in despair of his situation, with no one to turn to. But that makes it sound like he was just sad about something in his life, or, like, needed someone to talk to type of a thing, and not, you know what I mean? Like, okay, that sounds really unfair and sounds really weird the way I phrased it. That's not what I meant. But it makes it sound more like, okay, he's going through a rough time. He's depressed. He doesn't feel like he has anyone to talk to, and he doesn't feel like he's any other recourse. Like, in a standard situation. I don't want to say standard, but you know what I mean? Like, the general... In most cases of people harming themselves, it's the generalization. Okay, we're just going to generalize for a minute, okay? I know it's not like this all the time. I'm just going to generalize. It's, even if you're suffering from an actual medical condition, like you're suffering from depression or any other kind of mental illness, but it's like you're feeling hopeless, alone, you don't have anyone to talk to, maybe you can't go to therapy, you can't afford therapy, you're afraid to go to therapy, whatever, and you need some kind of a support system and you don't have it, and you feel like either, again, because of a mental illness or just a desperation and you just feel alone and like, you know what I mean? That's kind of where you get the people who judge when someone does kill themselves. You get people judging like, well, they should have just done this. Then it's like, you've never been in that. If you've never been in a place where you've just felt that kind of despair, you don't understand what people are going through. You know what I mean? Like, and those feelings aren't always logical. Feelings aren't logical. People you think would know this, like, your emotions are not fucking logical. So having a strong, sad emotion, which is what depression is, which is what leads you to in something that's so overwhelming like that, but people tend to kind of, in a quote unquote normal scenario, when someone harms themselves, it's like, oh, well, they should have gotten help. They should have talked to someone. They should whatever. You don't know what they're dealing with, but those people usually feel like they can't. There isn't anyone, or they try to, and people brush them off and like, whatever. But it's, I want to put it in a bubble of like a sort of what we generally see, what you typically see, and there's a bunch of different like factors to it, but generalizing here, the general bubble of like self-harm over here. Hibiki's, and that's kind of what Koharu's almost expressing here, like, oh, I shouldn't have told him he had to be strong on his own, because he's thinking maybe he would have reached out to me and whatever, and it's like, yeah, but Hibiki's situation is different. He didn't just feel despair because, like, the way he felt sad when he was at school and he didn't have any friends and, like, whatever, and he was kind of overwhelmed with that, and, like, he wasn't in that same situation where it just got worse. He was literally kidnapped and, like, locked in a room and was going to be sacrificed. That's a completely different scenario. You know what I mean? Like, you can't really go, oh, poor Hibiki, he was sad, and maybe if he reached out for help, it would have been okay. I mean, maybe in this scenario, yes, Hibiki's like, let me reach out to the spirit board and be like, yo, I am trapped in somebody's fucking mansion, and the man's gonna murder me, and like, I'm thinking that I should just hang myself, so could you help? Yeah, maybe then you spirits go help, and maybe somebody could have done something. I don't know ghost powers, right? But like, that's extenuating circumstances. Like, you really can't, you know what I mean? Like, you really shouldn't ever fault someone for feeling such despair that they don't reach out for help and they do something awful. Like, you know what I mean? Because you don't know the situation they're in. You're not in their shoes. Yes, it would be much nicer if people in that situation talked to someone, found some way to get help, whatever, because things should get better. You know what I mean? Things can get better. You might need medication for it. You know what I mean? You don't know. But Hibiki's situation wasn't going to get better. He was going to get brutally murdered. So, like, I feel like Koharu's like, he was depressed and he killed himself. No, I mean, the kid was going to get brutally butchered. So, like, he was like, nope. So, like, I kind of feel like it's a different scenario here. So, like, you're missing half the story. And I kind of get, again, that they're not fully going to tell you, because if you, for some reason, were just randomly choosing choices and you randomly ended up on Koharu's route, they're not going to tell you about Hibiki's story. You're going to know, wait, Hibiki killed himself? You don't know why. And, like, Koharu's not going to explain that to you because you need to go down Hibiki's route. Yes, for us, we know why. So if he said it, okay, it's not spoiling anything for us. But if this was your first route, because, again, theoretically, you could have done this route first. There's not really a route order. Yeah, the school ghost story, they're like the different arcs or whatever, but I don't think anything really spoils too much. I think it's only the only thing that I think you kind of get spoiled on is like her life choice. Because in the first couple of routes, she's like, oh yeah, I'll figure something out. And they don't really tell you what her choice is. And it's not till later on when it's like, hey, maybe I'll go and be a pastry chef. So if you played this route first and then you went and played Hibiki's route, you'd be like, she's not going to be a pastry? They just kind of leave it open-ended, But that's really the only thing they flesh out a little more as you go through the routes. But that's not really a big deal, you know what I mean? So I understand why Koharu's not going to be like, yeah, so he was trapped in a mansion and was going to be brutally murdered. Because that ruins the whole, school ghost stories arc kind of completely if he tells you that. But anyway, I should have told him to call on me anytime. Hearing all of this, I realized how much I still didn't know about Koharu. Koharu and Hibiki. A long time ago, Koharu met Hibiki through the spirit board ritual. Koharu still worries about and cares for Hibiki. Currently, Hibiki is one of Narimigahama High's 7 wonders. I feel like there's nothing I can say. Even knowing the whole story, what could I have said? What words could possibly have been the right ones? I have to be summoned, otherwise I can't do much. Even if I could visit or keep an eye on him, all I could do was watch. Hibiki remains as he was back then, alone. Only now, he's in the mirror. And the mirror is the one located on the central staircase? Koharu nodded. Can't you just visit and talk to him? What can I possibly say to him now? And besides, Hibiki is... Honestly, I don't think any of the mortals who I've interacted with remember me. Spirits are all eventually forgotten. Humans are selfish, which is why I can't stand them. I'd heard him say that before. Now I felt like I truly understood the meaning behind those words. What should I say? Not everyone's forgotten. I won't forget you. Not everyone is forgotten. Okay. Here's why both of them are good. I won't forget you is true. I won't forget you. Because I won't. I will never fucking forget you. Because I love you so goddamn hard. So I should get affection points for that. But also, not everyone is forgotten is almost like saying, in a way, like, I won't forget you, but I bet Hibiki hasn't forgotten you either. Like, you as an entity are not always forgotten, I bet. You know? So that could also be really good. Hmm. I feel like the game probably wants you to choose the I won't forget you thing, but I do like the underlying implications that not everyone's forgotten. I mean, that's a little too general, and it's probably not what they mean by that, but I like thinking of it like if you were to say, not everyone's forgotten, or like, well, it'd be better if it's not everyone forgets. Then that would be a little bit better. But that was my first thought with not everyone's forgotten is like, I bet Hibiki remembers you. Because he does. He absolutely does, and we know that, but yeah. I had to know the game wanted you to go this way. But I like the way the other one would have gone in my head. I know that's not what's going to go, but I won't forget you. They were the only words I could muster, but I meant every one of them. Thanks. His melancholic smile pained me. I impulsively took his hand. It sounded like she lunged at him. Koharu, I have feelings for you. I care about you. Truly. Deeply. I'll never forget you. I'll never love anyone but you. There's no way I could possibly forget someone I've fallen in love with. Girl, the stone's on her. I approve. I smiled and saw Koharu blushing to the tips of his ears. Look at him. Look at him. When he's further away, it's hard to see because they make the blush so subtle in the corners, but he quickly turned away. I felt a sharp pain in my heart as he turned away. I smiled to hide it. It wasn't the reaction I'd hoped for when I told him how I felt about him. You know, it's about time you kissed me. But I also knew now wasn't the time to dwell on it. I didn't care about myself being hurt. I wanted to make him feel better, and so I gently pulled on his hand. Come on, let's go. We need to hurry or class will end and I'll get caught skipping. Koharu silently followed as I led the way toward the entrance. Thanks, Spacey. And I'm sorry. His thanks took me by surprise, soothing the sting of the rejection he'd given me before. But then he said I'm sorry, so that didn't help. Why are you apologizing? He smiled back at me, and I couldn't find the meaning behind it. You're the first person I've shared this with. Well, I guess Yukimaro knows too. But my heart feels a little lighter now. Thank you. He didn't tell me why he was apologizing, but I smiled back at him anyway, nodding. After saying goodbye to Koharu at the entrance, I made my way to the nurse's office. I wasn't really in any pain, but I asked for a compress before heading back to class. I took the central stairs. I paused in front of the full-length mirror and looked tentatively at it, but all I saw was my own reflection. I want to understand Koharu's feelings, but I'm not sure how to help. Koharu was off researching my condition. I wanted to do something to help him, too. Maybe I can try talking to the mirror. Hibiki? Are you there? I didn't really expect a response, but maybe I should keep trying. If Koharu said that Hibiki was in the mirror, then he must be there, even if he wasn't visible to me. I'm friends with the spirit board. Do you remember, Koharu? My fingers brushed against the mirror, grazing its chilly surface. Koharu is... Just as I was about to continue, the mirror became as cold as ice. The bell rang and I quickly retracted my hand. I bowed to the mirror and hurried back to my classroom. It was like the end. The game just done. The game's like, bitch out. Like, okay, Koharu. After Spacey saw me off, I left the campus and stopped. This is bad. Lately, every time I see her, she's been sharing her feelings with me. I can't pretend not to notice anymore. And more than anything, I'm at my limit. I wish I could just hug her tightly and tell her how I felt about her. You should! This angst is gonna kill me! How wonderful that would be. What am I thinking? Her feelings for me might not even be real. And besides, a spirit and a mortal being together... a spirit and a mortal being together is forbidden in my clan. I looked back at the campus and up at the classroom where Spacey should be. Even if we can't be together, my feelings for you are real. I like the fact that they put that it's not like a spirit and a mortal can't be together because whatever. It's like, yes, you can. Shut up. You can have your spirit lover. You can. If you want to have a spirit lover, you guys get a spirit lover, okay? But like it's forbidden in my clan. Okay. Well, there you go. I mean, everybody else has been it's kind of really fucking difficult if you think about this whole, like, I'm dead, you're alive thing. Like, yeah, valid. I silently acknowledged the feelings I couldn't express to her. Then, with another deep sigh, I turned toward the direction of my village. Your village in the mortal realm? Shouldn't you, like... He has a village? I mean, like, it's like, and I decided to poof to my village. I turned to the direction of my village. That implies on the mortal plane you're going somewhere. You're like, it's north by northwest. You know what I mean? And you're like, but you got latitude, longitude coordinates? Like, is it on a map? Like, you know what I mean? It just seems weird. I headed toward my village. I know he's in spirit form, but it just... So does your spirit village live on top of, like, a mortal village? This is bizarre. How does that work? I don't want to know. Maybe that's why weird shit happens in your house. Not a poltergeist. It's some fucking other person on another plane being like, goddamn humans on their mortal plane building houses on my shit. Like, you know what I mean? Maybe when your shit moves around, it's because somehow, like, the spirit moved something in their house and it was somehow connected to something in your house, and that's why your keys are missing. It's not because you're crazy and you forgot where you put your keys. It's because the spirit realm house that exists on the different plane of existence as yours and, like, weird time rift thing. You don't know! You don't know! That could happen, and that's really fucking weird. It was lunch break, and as usual, I spread out my lunch while chatting with Sayaka. Oh, we probably could have stopped there, but you know what? We'll just keep reading this. Whatever. Oh, maybe I can ask Sayaka about it. If it's about the paranormal, Sayaka would be the perfect person to ask. Hey, you know the full-length mirror on the central stairs? Is that... It's one of the school's 7 wonders. You mean the grasp of the mirror, right? Huh? Grasp of the mirror? Why does that sound so familiar? Oh, that's right. You said you'd tell me about the grasp of the mirror. Yes, exactly. I got sidetracked by the story of being spirited away last time, so I never got around to telling you about it. Ah, so that mirror is the grasp of the mirror. Pretty rare for you to bring up the paranormal. You should do it more often. That's probably not going to happen. So what's with this grasp of the mirror? What's this grasp of the mirror about anyway? If I can learn about Hibiki, even if it's just a little bit, it might help me talk to him. I'd asked about the mirror with that in mind. Then Sayaka eagerly began telling me the story. As I said before, the grasp of the mirror is one of our school's 7 wonders. As the name suggests, it's a horror story about students getting dragged into the school's mirror. But how did these rumors start, you ask? Well, there was once a student in the school who was bullied each and every day. True. Some days the kid would hide his books, or some days the kids would hide his books or shoes, probably. Other times they'd put dirt in his desk. Sometimes they'd even throw his lunch away. These kids were dicks. The bullying escalated day by day, and in the end, it even got physical. That day was no different. The student was being bullied and he ran from the classroom. The students that bullied him were having fun chasing him. The student being bullied desperately ran down the stairs and slipped. The sound of him rolling down the stairs, bones breaking along the way, echoed through the hallways. When the sound stopped, his hands and feet were bent in unspeakable directions. He landed directly in front of the mirror. Ew, what the heck? Gross! He's no longer even human! Forget it, we better hurry home! None of the students who bullied him showed any concern for him. Instead, they acted like it was no big deal and headed home. Wait, help me. Later, his body was discovered when the school security guard was doing his rounds. When they found him, he was already dead, but it was clear he had suffered. Because... I'm lonely. I'm sad. I'll never forgive them. So sort of fits Hibiki. Now, obviously, how this happened is not the truth, but I'm lonely, I'm sad, and I'll never forgive them. Well, him, the person that kidnapped him. The words were etched in blood on the mirror. If the students who bullied him had called for help, he might have lived. Ever since that day, if you pass the mirror and you hear a voice, I'm lonely. I'm sad. Come here. It's too late. Once you hear the voice, your body freezes as if it's been possessed. A hand comes out of the mirror, pulls you in, and takes you away. The grudge of that student who died alone still haunts that mirror. You think he'd have a lot of friends with all the people he supposedly kidnapped by now. Stop it, Bird. Oh, the students who bullied him? They all went missing and have yet to be found. That's the story. So what do you think? Pretty scary, right? It was pretty scary. But according to Koharu, Hibiki took his own life. So the real story has to be different. What? Are you scared speechless? Nobody knows if it's actually true or not. That's what makes it one of the 7 wonders. You're right. At the end of the day, it's just a rumor, huh? Thinking about it that way, maybe I didn't need to worry about the story. So does that mean you've never heard a voice from the mirror? Ah! Oh, that was me. So does that mean you've never heard a voice from the mirror? Sorry. I wish. I've tried everything. Touching it, calling out to it. Still nothing. Sayaka sighed, and I could only offer a wry smile. Sayaka's something else. In that case, maybe it was pointless for me to try calling out to him. I've never been one to see ghosts anyway. It made sense he wouldn't respond to me, but if there was even a chance he could hear me... I'll try visiting one more time after school. If he remembered Koharu when I talked to him about the spirit board ritual, all I could focus on was trying to help heal the regret in Koharu's heart. I do like it. She's like, I can never see ghosts anyway. Bitch, you got 3 spirits floating around. Like, you don't think that maybe you could, like, you know what I mean? Like, but anyway, I know, they're spirits and gods and not ghosts, but still, you know. And then she's like, typical Sayaka being all into the occult. That's so weird. Why would I ever ask about this? And it's like, you're being haunted by 3 spirits and you're not even Ebenezer Scrooge. All I'm saying. Girl. Yeah. It's kind of funny she's still on that, like, I don't believe in the occult shit. Like, still in every one of these. Anyway, I will see you guys next time. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.